You know, there's not a day when a person doesn't somehow engage with a bell. You know, bells have ruled our lives in so many ways and for so many centuries. And of course, they're also a warning. Bells are used for warnings. And this is where we want to use this bell as a warning of the future.
I've got a small farm down in Devon, and we had the foot and mouth in our parish, and after that I was asked to make a bell by my neighbours to commemorate the hardship and the needless slaughter of that event. When I was watching that being tuned, I realised there was a different harmonic potential that bells could have, and I discovered a computer program that analysed frequency vibration and came up with a form that could ring multiple notes from a single strike. And I thought, what was the context in which something like that would function? And I thought our relationship with the sea that both gives and takes.
That they are very accessible as sculptures or public artworks go. The idea of a bell that rings as the tide comes in, it's a very simple idea and beautiful one.
A lot of my sculpture friends said, "You're out of your mind, water and moving parts." And I wish I'd listened to them sometimes, because it has proved a challenge. But what has also been really exciting is because the challenge has been so difficult, what it draws out of the communities is much deeper.
That's the utterly entrancing element of it. Each bell, it's a piece of beautifully accessible public art, but it also has a family attached to it, if you like, a group of people who use it as the springboard for other sorts of activity.
The bell is more of a catalyst for other activities than an end point in itself, and it's leading on to in the next couple of years, an education program for beach schools, and then into the national curriculum in 2 years' time.
The bell will toll, not by my hand, but powered by the sea. As proudly it stands upon the sand, it calls to you and me.
The story here on the East Coast is about change. Since even 10 days ago, when we put this in, this entire place has completely changed. And I think there's a very interesting narrative that is now coming into the constellation of the whole bells. These are communities that have dealt with the changing relationship with the sea, and I think they've got a lot to offer, perhaps in this time of climate change and sea level rise, into a broader context.
Can we look forward in time 1,000 years? In 1,000 years' time, the North Sea will be the Greater North Sea, and it will have covered the Lincolnshire marsh.
We'll be hearing the bells ring a little bit more often as the years go by. Some of the bells will undoubtedly have to be, at the very least, adjusted, and in one or two cases probably moved within a matter of decades.
The idea is to spark these conversations of what we're doing, why we're doing it, should we be doing it.
I love the fact that it's just what I see as a multi-purpose project. So there's a lot obviously about coastal change, climate change, but it's also about the places and the people around the coast. So I think that it not only has the potential to be a beautiful object making a lovely sound around the coast, but I think it's also an opportunity for local education work and schools to get involved. Then it's a further opportunity for the wider community in those places to get involved.
Obviously a lot of the places around the coast are in a state of flux. They are, in my language, they are sort of working out what their identity in the 21st century is, and we hope that in 3 or 4 years' time there will be 16 places who regard themselves as lucky and proud to have a bell, and that are distinctive for that very reason.
There's an informing component that I hope will allow people to deal with the changing world that we're moving into.